This is a wooden soccer ball puzzle by Takashi Morimoto. How did a playful idea from an artisan's past turn into a best-selling puzzle? Discover the story behind it and how your insights could be the key to the next big idea. Stay tuned. You are watching or listening to an episode of The Prototypes. The show is your starting guide to exploring the world of creating your own one-of-a-kind pieces or original products that artisans in Shikoku, Japan will produce. I'm Satoko, a Bespoke Artisanal Experience Coordinator, the founder of KoLe SHIKOKU Japan, and the host of this show. I share the real stories of how the products by my collaborating heritage craft artisans in Shikoku, Japan began and developed. I hope the show inspires you to start designing your next bespoke item and, better yet, interests you to be the next Japanese artisan-made product designer. Welcome to episode 3 of The Prototypes. In this video, I'll share the birth story of the wooden soccer ball puzzle by Takashi Morimoto. When you consider designing heritage artisan-made items, this episode will teach you how vital your non-craftsperson visions and perspectives are. I'll share the story in 3 sections: how it started, producing the prototype, and 2-in-1 Craftsman made this possible. Let's start. This 3-dimensional wooden puzzle was born about 25 years ago, before Takashi Morimoto married. It was for an annual event called the Craftsmanship Festival, which aims to introduce people to work of artisans and features artisans from a wide range of fields. At this festival, craftspeople display their work, demonstrate their skills, and sell their goods. Mr. Morimoto, a member of the Joinery Association, participated in the event. When he knew he was going to participate, he wanted to make and sell something unique for a joiner. Young Mr. Morimoto, who was in his 30s at the time, was eager to demonstrate that he was not a mediocre joiner. The event only happened once a year, and it was a rare opportunity for craftspeople from the same and different genre to gather at once. While other joiners sold products that were easily imaginable for joiners to make, such as wooden photo frames or box-shaped lampshades, Mr. Morimoto went for a sphere. Because the event was also for craftspeople participating to have fun, Mr. Morimoto created the ball-shaped wooden puzzle thinking that he didn't mind if nobody bought them. He brought 10 sets on the first day, and they were sold out that day. After the first day, he made 10 sets every night and brought them to the event until the last day. Every day, the puzzle was sold out. Back then, most goods at the events were sold, let's say, for $2 to $3 or $10 at most. Mr. Morimoto's puzzle was $20, so he was genuinely surprised the puzzles were sold out. After the first year, the puzzle sold so well every single year that one year, Mr. Morimoto suggested that every participating Joinery Association member produce the puzzles and sell them at the event so that everyone could bring some cash back home. That was how this puzzle was born. I asked Mr. Morimoto about how he came up with the idea and what the tricky part was. According to Mr. Morimoto, the idea of making a ball-shaped puzzle was in him from the beginning. It comes from his memory of a mathematics class in elementary school. He vividly remembers having fun making different polyhedrons with paper. The tricky part of producing the puzzle was figuring out how to connect each piece. He considered cutting grooves on the side of the pieces or using magnets, but both needed to be more timely and material consuming. Then, he thought of connecting pieces with rubber bands. I also asked him how he decided on the size and angle of the connecting surfaces of the pieces. The size was calculated from the initial size of the material. He wished he could calculate the angle, but he had to guess roughly, make sample pieces, and adjust until he got the right angle. He had made other polyhedron puzzles, but this soccer ball one remains and has sold the most, while the original remains a regular product. Many different versions, including non-puzzle ones, have been produced per his clients' requests. Adding silk screen print on the back of each piece made different varieties possible. In the birth story of the puzzle earlier, Mr. Morimoto mentioned that all members of the Joinery Association produced the puzzle at his suggestion. All joiners can make it once they are told how to do it. Then, how come no other joiner came up with the three-dimensional puzzle idea before Mr. Morimoto did? That is because Mr. Morimoto is a two-in-one craftsman. He is better known as a traditional joiner and a certified local heritage craft artisan of KoLe craft. But only a few people know that he is also a furniture craftsman. Mr. Morimoto's grandfather was a traditional joiner and his father is a furniture craftsman. When his father married the Morimoto family, a furniture section was added to the Morimoto joinery. So, the third generation, Mr. Morimoto, learned both joinery and furniture. Joiners are the craftspeople who create doors and screens. Their work is two-dimensional compared to furniture. So they don't need knowledge and skill to make three-dimensional items. Yet, traditional joiners' wood crafting skills are exquisite. So once they know the process, they can do it. It was just a matter of concept, whether having a concept of three-dimensional work. Here is one anecdote that Mr. Morimoto shared with me. One year, when he attended a meeting of the National Joinery Association, where masters of joiners from all over Japan gathered, he brought the puzzle and showed it to other masters. The following year, Mr. Morimoto started seeing more polyhedron objects and products made by other joiners. Then, Mr. Morimoto added that it's about something other than the level of skills. It is about how easily we forget there are other perspectives outside of the fields in which we are, and seeking the possibility of other perspectives can bring goodness to our fields. That was the story of Mr. Morimoto's most and longest-selling product, the wooden soccer ball puzzle. Which part of the story stood out to you the most? Please share your thoughts in the comments. I find 3 valuable lessons in this story when you are considering designing artisan-made products or as a creator. 1. securing time to work on something that has no obligations or expectations attached. This puzzle was made for the opportunity that Mr. Morimoto had no obligations, expectations, or sales targets. He made them because he genuinely wanted to try. Google's 20% time rule is well known. This policy allows employees to spend 20% of their work time on personal projects. It's so famous that Gmail was born from it. The puzzle was born from Mr. Morimoto's 20% time, and it became the longest-selling product. We want to remember the importance of securing free creative time once in a while. You might be inspired to create an artisan-made product. 2. Find and work with flexible-minded artisans. Not all heritage craft artisans are flexible-minded. Mr. Morimoto has been receiving the projects other joiners had given up on. When considering designing artisan-made products, you need to find artisans who are flexible-minded and love creative challenges. Otherwise, your great idea will never be made. If you allow me to coordinate your project, I'll find the artisans who are happy to make your idea possible. 3. Your outsider's perspective can break the artisan's creative barriers. The puzzle was born because Mr. Morimoto is a furniture craftsman and a joiner. Later, he shared how to produce the puzzle with other joiners, and they could make the puzzles. Mr. Morimoto added furniture craftsman perspective to fellow joiners. Every single one of us, not just artisans, has our own fixed ideas, and they are hard to break. But once someone from outside points out, we can suddenly start to see the outside of our fixed ideas. Your ideas are the key to break heritage craft artisans' creative barriers and try something new. This helps so much to keep heritage craftsmanship alive and pass it on to the next generations. I wrote an article about how difficult it is to notice our fixed ideas, and they prevent us from realizing the real cause of problems. I'll leave the article link in the description. That's all for this episode. Please leave comments on what you find most interesting or ask Mr. Morimoto questions. I'll share your comments with him. In the next episode, I will talk about the journey Mrs. Morimoto and I took. It's about the packaging for the wooden soccer ball puzzle. Packaging is not a heritage craft, but it is essential when you consider selling your artisan-made products. So, I decided to share it with you. If you are interested, please check if you have turned on the notification. Thank you for watching or listening. The collaborating artisans are excited about the idea of producing bespoke items, something new and unique. Once you have an idea, let me know. I'll be happy to coordinate your production. So stay connected by following me on Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. For a more direct connection, join Misenoma membership. I'll leave the links in the description. That's all for this episode. Your support gets me going, so if you like this episode or want to let me know you've just listened to it, please like it or leave a comment wherever you are listening. Thank you for your support and listening. See you next time!